Good morning. Welcome back to yet another section of Indian writing in English. In our last class, we started the second poem, Breezy April, written by Rabindranath Tagore. We also went through the two stanzas in the poem. Anyway, I just want to summarize the first two stanzas again. In Breezy April, Tagore evokes a series of word pictures in which the April breeze is given life and vivacity and seen as mother, fairy, spirit of spring and lover. The nature of the April breeze, its swift changing moods, creativity, tenderness and movement are thus beautifully conveyed in apt language. Thus, the idea of life in nature is clearly illuminated. Breezy April is one of Tagore's best known nature poems. A short lyric poem in the form of an ode. It begins with an address to the month of April. April, the month of regeneration and rebirth, is personified. The apostrophe to April gives a personal touch to the poem. It reinforces the man-nature relationship. The poem is filled with the quickening resonance of resurgence in nature and hum and bustle of life after long freezing in North Indian winter. Tagore poem Breezy April is about the pompous effect of April on nature. The month April is accompanied by its breeze, and the poet cannot imagine the month without breeze. Nature receives the month by spreading its two hands. Nature entirely changes when April reaches on earth. Tagore assures the persona of a tree which delights in the touch of the April breeze. As the tree speaks to the breeze, a sense of images arise. The tree sees the breeze in various forms and moods. Though it addresses the breeze as vagrant April, it gets solace from its gentle rhythmic movement. Rock me in your swing of music. The line evokes the image of a mother rocking her baby to sleep with a gentle lullaby. The tree, alive to every challenging mood of the breeze, next sees it as a fairy-like charmer who thrills its branches with enchantment and touches it with sweet surprises. The tree longs for the breeze. In the second stanza, the tree is seen as living its unchanging existence by the wayside. The word life dream conveys the idea that the tree has lived a long time. The past years are like a dream. It also conveys that life has been dormant in winter. The April breeze is harbinger of spring. It activates all life forces within the tree. For the tree says, "You come, startling me from slumber. It is awakened from cold winter." Thus the breeze is seen as the spirit of spring, ushering in a season of growth and new life. Willful in your mood, fantastic, courting, teasing and inconstant. The April breeze is visualized by the tree as a whimsical, gently courting and teasing the beloved. The image of the lover is further developed till the end of the poem. Actually, the first and second stanzas we discussed in detail in our last class. So I think we can start the third stanza now. So all of you please open the textbook, page number 9. Breezy April, vagrant April, living with my lonesome shadows, I know all your fitful fancies, leafy language, fitting footsteps. So we can go through the difficult words. Okay, the first word, here we can see that the repetition, breezy April, vagrant April. So the repetition actually reinforces the capacity and the power of April. Okay. Then the next word, lonesome. Second line, lonesome. Lonesome means lonely. Lonesome means lonely. Then the third line, fitful fancies. Not the word, fitful fancies. It means occurring in irregular spells. Fitful fancies occurring in irregular spells. Okay. Then leafy, fourth line, leafy. Leafy means resembling leaves. Resembling leaves, similar like a leaves. Fitting. Fitting means rapid. Fitting means rapid. So I think all of you got a clear idea about the difficult words. Okay, then we can move to the paraphrase of the third stanza. Breezy April, vagrant April, living with my lonesome shadows, I know all your fitful fancies, leafy language, fitting footsteps. So here Tagore repeats the address, emphasizing April's characteristics. That is why the third stanza starts with breezy April, vagrant April. So here he says, nature lives a lonely life. The poet says that he knows the whole fancies of breezy April. But now, before April, it was winter season. So it was sleeping there. The nature was sleeping or dreaming in winter season. So at that period, nature was lonely with its shadows. It has only its shadows because it was sleeping or dreaming in winter season. And at the same time, it was waiting for breezy April, the spring season. Okay, so nature lives a lonely life. The poet says that he knows the whole fancies of breezy April. So the poet can understand April's language. What it is April's language? He says, month of April, it has its own language. It makes the communication through its language. Here the poet speaks about leafy language and the language of breeze. Leafy language here, the rustling sound of leaves. I think all of you are very familiar with the rustling sound, and even you also very familiar with the sound of breeze. Am I right? You already enjoyed the sound and the feel of breezy April. Okay, so here the poet says, I am very confident, I know the language of breezy April, I know the language of leaves, I know leafy language, and I am very familiar with the language of breeze. So here, that's why the poet says, I can understand April's language, which resembles the rustling noise of the leaves. Actually here he says April's language, it's just like the language of leaves. We can see the similarities between April's language and also the leafy language, and his rapid movements of the footsteps. Then he says breezy April, it has very rapid, very fast footsteps. So the poet is very familiar with breezy April's language and also leafy language. The language of the breeze using the movements of the leaves, that is why we call it as leafy language. So leaves, they are communicating using the movements of their leaves, and the footsteps are familiar to the poet. So here the tree lives a lonely life especially in winter season. Its only companions beings its shadows. I told you at that period it has its shadows. It is very familiar with the breeze and its changing moods, its fitful fancies. In the first paragraph, the poet speaks about breezy April songs. It's just like a mother's lullabies. Then he also speaks about the enchantment. Enchantment we will feel like a fairy. Then it starts to courting and teasing. So we can also feel just like a lover. Then here he says, I know the fitful fancies of breezy April. So I know the changing moods of breezy April, its fitful fancies. The breeze blowing through the leaves of the tree rustles. Actually, how it is happening, how the leafy language forms, it is also with the help of breeze. When the breeze moves through the leaves, we can see that the leafy language. So the breeze blowing through the leaves of the tree rustles. As the result, it rustles. It started to make a sound and creates a gentle sound, which is leafy language. I think all of you got the clear picture about leafy language. It is very important. University repeatedly is asking this question. Okay, what it is leafy language? Leafy language, it is the language of leaves. Through the leafy language, nature is communicating. Actually, when the breeze blowing through the leaves start to rustle. It is known as leafy language. Okay, so here the poet says, I know very well the leafy language and the rapid footsteps of a breeze. Okay. So here we can see that the poet says that he knows the whole fancies of breezy April, all the tricks, all the magical spell of breezy April, the language of the breeze using the movements of the leaves, and the footsteps are familiar to the poet. I think all of you got the clear idea about the stanza 3. Then we can move to the stanza 4. It is the last stanza in this poem. Okay. All my buds break into blossoms at your passing breath and whisper. All my leaves break into tumult of surrender at your kisses. Boughs means, yes, branches. Boughs means branches. Okay, I think whisper, it is very familiar word for you. Okay, the third line, okay, tumult. Tumult means a loud, confused noise. A loud, confused noise. A loud, confused noise. Okay, so we can go through the paraphrase. Okay. All my buds break into blossom at your passing breath and whisper. All my leaves break into tumult of surrender at your kisses. So, with the blowing of the breeze, all the branches are filled with blossoms. Blossoms means, yes, flowers. It is the spring season. It is the time of regeneration and rebirth. So we can see that when the breeze starts to blow through the nature, what happens? What is the result? Yes, we can see all the branches are filled with the flowers. They enjoy the breath and whisper of the breeze. Actually, they are waiting for the whisper and breath of breeze. They enjoy the presence of a breeze. The leaves surrender in front of the breeze with its kiss. So actually the leaves became very happy by the kisses of breeze. That is why the result happens in them. We can see that there are so many blossoms in trees. So here the breeze is personified once again as a nimble footed spirit at whose touch the tree breaks forth into blossoms. This evokes the image of the beloved blushing. That means blushing means shyness. So we can see the shyness as a lover, at a murmured endearment of the lover. The quick movement of the leaves in the gust of breeze is seen as tumult and surrender to the gentle loving touch of the breeze. As a lover, the breeze touches the leaves. So we can see the shyness in leaves. They are enjoying the period. It is the season of spring. It is the time of April. So they are waiting for the breezy April, and they are enjoying the presence of breezy April with shyness. Okay. That is why through these lines we will feel the image of the beloved blushing at a murmured endearment of the lover. I already told you the feel of a lover continues till the end of the poem. Okay, so the quick movement of the leaves in the gust of breeze is seen as tumult and surrender to the gentle loving touch of the breeze. So here, according to Tagore, the play of spring in nature is the counterpart of the play of youth in our lives. Actually, he wants to connect the spring season with you. You in the sense the youth. You are the youth. So, thus the April breeze is personified as a, have you remembered how the breeze is personified? Yes, as a mother, fiery spirit of spring and lover. You don't forget it. April breeze is personified as a mother, fiery spirit of spring and lover. Okay. Tagore reveals his capacity for oneness with nature. He identifies himself with the tree and becomes aware of the beauty and loving creative touch of the spring breeze. So definitely it has a magical spell because just by a touch it can make a lot of changes in the nature. Tagore's love for and awareness of the beauty of nature and the elements can be likened to kids' love for beauty. There is a note of similarity in the way in which images are evoked in Keats' Ode to Autumn and Tagore's Breezy April. Have you read Keats' Ode to Autumn? Yes, I think definitely you are familiar with Keats' Ode to Autumn. So definitely there is a note of similarity in the way in which images are evoked in Keats' Ode to Autumn and Tagore's Breezy April. I think all of you understood the poem well. Then we can discuss the questions based on the textbook. Okay. Then okay, thrill my branches with enchantment at your touch of sweet surprises. Explain. That it is the first question. Okay, so I told you actually the narrator requests the breeze or or the nature requires the breeze to thrill its branches with its surprising touch. So he assumes that the touch of the breeze in the month of April, it has some magical power. So that magical power should rejuvenate the branches. This magical power, through this magical power we can also feel the fairies touch. Okay. Then leafy language, actually we explained it well. I told you the language of leaves. Through the leafy language they are communicating. With the blowing, when the breeze is blowing through the leaves, we can see that the sound of leaves, it starts to make the noise. Then that it is a leafy language. So I told you it starts to rustle. Okay, that is the word. It starts to rustle. Okay. Then the next one is all my buds break into blossom. All my buds break into blossom. It is the result of the presence of a lover. Okay. So we can see that when the gentle touch of the breeze, the entire boughs of the trees will have blossoms. It shows the power of the breeze to bring about the changes in nature, and it also does the role of a lover, and it brings a magical change in the nature. Okay, so we can speak about the title of the poem Breezy April. Actually in the first section of this poem we already discussed the title Breezy April. Anyway, once again we can go through the more details about the title Breezy April. Tagore's poem Breezy April is a beautiful piece revealing the poet's intimacy with the nature. April is the month that brings new showers and rejuvenates nature. It has the power to rejuvenate nature. April is the month that brings new showers and rejuvenates nature. The 14th century English poet Chaucer, at the beginning of the prologue to the contemporary tales, describe April with its sweet showers. I think all of you are very familiar with the 14th century poet Chaucer. In his very famous work Prologue to the Contemporary Tale, we can see that the April, he also describes about April with its sweet showers. It is the west wind that brings rain in England. So in that Prologue to the Contemporary Tales, Chaucer presents the breeze, the April. It is the west wind that brings rain in England. Here, in the case of breezy April, April is described as breezy. The breeze accompanies the April rain. It brings life and energy into nature as well as her beings. It is the passing breath and whisper that makes trees and plants blossom. The breeze wakes nature from its sleep. So long she has had no life, no activity, no hum and bustle of life. It was winter. Now the breeze of April makes everything active. It is the breeze that brings life and joy to nature and to all beings. So the title Breezy April is very apt and suggestive. Okay, so you can add all these points relating the title Breezy April. Then we can speak about the theme of the poem Breezy April. Okay. Breezy April is a nature poem. Tagore established the relationship between man and nature. The poet identifies himself with nature. He personifies April. We already identify how he is personifying April as a mother, fairy, spirit of spring, and also a lover. Okay, so here he personifies April. It's April with his sweet showers and soothing breeze that brings life into man and nature. Nature which was in slumber, it was in sleeping or dreaming during the long freezing winter, is awakened by April with the breeze and showers. That is why it became frightened. Have you remembered? She wakes up and enjoys the various activities of April in his fantastic mood. We also discussed the mood of April because we can't predict it. Then as soon as the breath and whisper approach nature, all the trees and plants begin to blossom. The poet beautifully describes the kisses that April gives to the vegetation. The poet describes April also as vagrant to suggest the irregular, inconstant, and sometimes mysterious character of April. Okay. Then we can speak about the meter and rhythm of the poem. Okay. Then here the poem Breezy April has been written in 5 4-line stanzas. The foot is trochaic. Have you heard about trochaic? I think you already studied it in first semester. Okay. Anyway, whatever it is, trochaic, it is a metrical foot composed of 2 syllables. I repeat, it is a metrical foot comprised of 2 syllables, stressed followed by an unstressed syllable. If you want, you can note it down. I repeat, here the foot is trochaic, T-R-O-C-H-A-I-C, trochaic. Trochaic, it is a metrical foot composed of 2 syllables, stressed followed by unstressed syllable. Stressed followed by an unstressed syllable. That is the speciality of trochaic. Stressed followed by unstressed. Okay. So here the foot is trochaic. So we can see that it is a stressed syllable followed by an unstressed syllable. Each line has 4 such feet and the poem has been written in trochaic tetrameter. The poem has a very beautiful rhythm. It is musical throughout. The language used is metaphorical. There is personification throughout. About the personification we talked a lot. April is personified and is addressed as if it is a person. So there is apostrophe in the first lines of stanza 1 and 3. I think all of you remembered well. What it is the apostrophe used here? Breezy April, vagrant April. If you want, you can quote the line also. It is good. Okay. So there is apostrophe in the first line of stanza 1 and 3. There are several cases of alliteration such as sweet, surprises, fitful fancies, leafy language, etc. I think all of you are very familiar with alliteration. Alliteration means repetition of consonant sounds. So we can see here the use the figure of speech alliteration, which are the examples for alliteration in this poem. Sweet surprises, fitful fancies, leafy language. Sweet surprises, S is repeating. Fitful fancies, F is repeating. Leafy languages, L is repeating. So the poem does not follow any regular rhyme scheme, just like the last poem which we studied. What it is? Yes, Songs of Radha the Kyosti. It has a particular rhyme scheme. But here, Breezy April, there is no particular rhyme scheme, regular rhyme scheme. Okay. But the whole piece is lyrical and musical, and with the use of various poetic techniques, Tagore has embellished his poem. But definitely it is a very good poem with a meter and a rhythm. Breezy April is one of Tagore's best nature poems. There are only two characters in the poem, the poet who identifies with nature and April, which is personified. After the long freezing North Indian winter, April comes with his breeze and wakens nature from its slumber, from its sleep by the wayside. Here the nature wakes up frightened because April refreshes the nature with his caresses. He is in a fantastic mood and reveals his temperament in various ways. He shows his love and tries to woo nature. Sometimes he teaches her, sometimes he behaves inconstantly. Nature, which has been living in her lonely shadows, soon discerns his occasional and irregular whims and fancies. She can understand his leafy language and quick moving footstep. Leafy languages of this nature and also the footsteps, the rapid footsteps of the breeze. All the branches of trees and plants are full of flowers when in the presence of, by the touch of breezy April. They blossom at April's breath and whisper. All the leaves in nature make a confusing noise and surrender to him at his kisses. Tagore portrays beautifully how April enchants nature with his magic spell and how nature cooperates with April to decorate herself with blossoms. Tagore becomes one with nature and finds no contradictions, as Ezra Pound says. The poem establishes a relationship between man and nature. Just as man feels refreshed at the coming of new rains, nature rises from its sleep. The moisture gives an inspiration to the roots and automatically new shoots begin to grow on trees and plants. When nature becomes so refreshed and filled with blossoms, man's spirit also becomes more energetic. He becomes more enthusiastic and is induced to fresh activities. The changes that take place in nature directly affect human activities. There is an intimate connection between man and nature. In Gitanjali, Tagore addresses God Almighty, but in his nature poems, he addresses nature as a goddess. Just as there is connection between man and God, there is something that connects God and nature. It is this connection that Tagore establishes through the poem Breezy April. So I think all of you understood the poem well. So this poem comprises with only 4 beautiful stanzas. So all of you please go through the textbook, the lines thoroughly. Then we will discuss the question answers through the online WhatsApp group. So we will meet in the next class with a new poem. Thank you.